If you're subject to PCI compliance, you've got until March 2024 to get your APIs under control. The data security standard has been around since the dawn of PCI, and there's a brand new version, 4.0, released in 2023. It's the first major update to DSS in almost been 10 years, and while 3.0 doesn't mention APIs at all, it's prominent in 4.0, and for good reason. Here's why. First, APIs are everywhere. They're powering almost every online transaction in every web and mobile app. Second, APIs are under attack. Gartner's been saying APIs are the #1 attack vector for years, and the data bears this out. The attacks just keep coming, and they're more successful than ever. And thirdly, security teams are struggling to keep up. APIs are seriously undersecured. Our application security tools don't cut it. Testing is lacking, all making APIs absolutely right targets for attackers. So let's look at the DSS requirements and see what they say. And just to make the point clear, let's start with the last version, 3.2.1, and do a simple search for API. Nothing shows up. Now let's check the new 4.0. And here you go. APIs are definitely on the radar. But actually, it goes way beyond what you're seeing here. Let's look at the details. If you're familiar with DSS, you know it has 12 major categories, but the one you really need to focus on is requirement 6, develop and maintain secure systems and software. The first thing to notice is this term bespoke and custom software. It's all over requirement 6 and has huge implications for APIs. Why? Because APIs are integral to your bespoke and custom software. There's no question your web and mobile UIs are part of your software stack, but your APIs are just another interface, a machine interface, but it's got just as much access as your UIs do, and actually often more. So what I've done for you is extract all the relevant sections of DSS 4.0 that impact APIs. There are a lot, so I'm going to go through this pretty rapid fire. And if you want the details, go check out our API Security for PCI Compliance course. Okay, 6.2.1, bespoke and customer software are developed securely. What's it mean? Make sure your dev teams are using the best app security practices. They specifically call out understanding how your data can be accessed and making sure it's done securely. Remember, APIs are just another interface like your UIs. 6.2.1 is telling you to make sure your APIs are as secure as every other interface. 6.2.2, annual developer training. DSS requires annual training on secure coding techniques for all engineers involved in bespoke and custom software development. Even more, they want you to include training for security testing tools to find vulnerabilities. Remember that 4% figure from before? Don't let that be you. Make sure you're including security testing in your APIs. 6.2.3, software code reviews. Of course you need to do code reviews, and this needs to be done before anything goes to production to find any vulnerabilities. DSS explicitly flags APIs and any other third-party components to make sure they're being used securely. 6.2.4, prevent common vulnerabilities. I call this the OWASP section of DSS 4.0 because you've got the kitchen sink of vulnerabilities to worry about. Injections, cross-site scripting, authentication attacks, authorization flaws, even attacks on business logic through attempts to abuse or bypass application features and functionalities through the manipulation of APIs. 6.3.1, security vulnerabilities are identified and addressed. Be sure not to miss the requirement. Vulnerabilities for bespoke and custom software are covered. If there are logic flaws in your application, they'll get exposed through your APIs, so make sure you're testing these to find them. And if you're doing bug bounties, make sure you're including APIs in those programs. 6.3.2, software inventory. You got to know what you've got to be able to start securing it. This means having an accurate, up-to-date inventory of bespoke and custom software to facilitate vulnerability and patch management. DSS specifically highlights vulnerabilities in third-party APIs, as these can render those applications vulnerable to attack. 6.4.1, attack protection. Here you need to perform periodic vulnerability testing and implement threat detection and blocking. That testing better include your APIs because you know attackers are going to be looking at them. And your blocking technology better be API savvy. And seriously, just pressure test the hell out of your APIs before anything goes live. Now, requirement 6 isn't the only area you need to worry about APIs. There's also 7.0, access controls. This is all about who can access system components and cardholder data. And yep, if your APIs have access to this info, you better be analyzing your policies here. And better yet, follow the least privilege / need to know model and test. See what's actually possible through your APIs. 10.0, logging and monitoring. You're probably already capturing and analyzing logs, but are you collecting API level activity too? Best practice here is to use an API gateway. It's a great way to control access and capture all that activity. And finally, 11.0, security testing. I can't say it any better than DSS does. Bespoke and custom software should be tested frequently. And by that they mean 1, continuously, and 2, shift left, testing ahead of production. Okay, that was a whirlwind review of DSS 4.0. I recommend you check out our course, API Security for PCI Compliance, if you want to understand that in detail. You've got until March 31, 2024 to get your API program ready, and we're here to help. First of all, make sure your developers get trained on API security risks. We recommend enrolling them in the API Security Fundamentals course. It's 90 minutes, and you can even deploy that course in your own LMS. And second, download our self-assessment readiness worksheet. This will help you understand where you stand now and what areas need help. Thanks for watching.